Today on Bridge City News, Southern Alberta is recovering after last night's blizzard caused multiple accidents, including a passenger bus rollover. Montreal and Ottawa continue to battle rising floodwaters as a dike break forced the evacuation of 2,600 homes last night. And a shooting yesterday at a San Diego synagogue has left 1 dead and 3 wounded. Police allege that it was a hate crime.
Your nation, your province, your Southern Alberta. From the heart of Lethbridge, it's Bridge City News with Paul Arthur.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. Southern Alberta got walloped last night with a springtime blizzard with snow and winds gusting up to 90 kilometers per hour. Lethbridge City crews were out this morning to clear snow and ice on Priority 1 routes, and the speed limit on Whoop Up Drive was reduced to 60 until conditions improved. The city of Calgary was hit much harder with 14.3 centimeters of snow, causing 127 accidents. The Trans-Canada Highway was shut down for a time after a passenger bus flipped over on its side. Several people were injured in the crash. There is also a pileup on Highway 1 near Jumping Pound involving 4 semis and 11 other vehicles. RCMP are still advising against travel in this area as icy road conditions persist and emergency crews remove stranded vehicles. A special ceremony for the National Day of Mourning took place earlier today at the Lethbridge Mountain View Cemetery. The day is set aside to honor those who lost their lives while on the job. Last year in Alberta alone, 162 people were killed due to workplace injuries or illnesses. The event was attended by representatives from the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees and other dignitaries, including Lethbridge MP Rachel Harder and MLA Shannon Phillips. There was also a special ceremony yesterday for some 30 volunteers for the new Lethbridge Watch program as they received their red uniforms. The volunteer-based patrol program will see teams deployed 7 days a week who will serve as eyes and ears for the police to enhance community safety downtown. The Watch program will hit the streets on May 1st. It was 20 years ago today that a 14-year-old boy, inspired by the Columbine High School massacre, opened fire at W.R. Myers High School in Taber, Alberta. He killed 17-year-old Jason Lang while his friend Shane Christmas was shot in the stomach, but he survived. Jason's father, Dale, says he forgives the shooter and has even talked with the teen's mother. The young man was apparently a victim of bullying and was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Dale Lang spent the next decade traveling the world as a public speaker on the issue of bullying, school violence, and forgiveness. Injured Humboldt Broncos player Ryan Strasnitsky says his family's newly renovated home is too good to be true. Strasnitsky was paralyzed from the chest down in last year's bus crash, and his family moved back into their house in Airdrie, north of Calgary, yesterday. The house now includes an elevator down to Strasnitsky's new man cave in the basement and a separate heating unit for his bedroom because he is unable to sense when his body is too hot or too cold.
Amazing. I'm speechless. Everything has just been amazing. I mean, you saw my mom with the tears going on, so just her reaction kind of shows what this house is like, and it's like a whole new house, and I'm really excited. It gives me more independence, with the laundry room and the open bedroom and even controls here. I can do it all on my own. I don't have to rely on other people. So I mean, everything's just been amazing. It'll be nice to be home, kind of away from everything, and just back in the swing of things like how it used to be. I'm pretty excited to be back and, in a different situation. I'm surrounded by family and I know my friends will be over all the time. So, I can't wait.
Overwhelmed.
Yes.
Absolutely. This is a completely new house to us, but it's beautiful and we're so grateful for everything, the brick and everyone that helped out, and honestly, the laundry list of people to thank, it's immeasurable. It's incredible. Also knowing that Ryan can do whatever he wants now. He can live his life the way he needs to, and he can come and go as he pleases, more or less. And I'm just so grateful that we can all be together again. It's a different look for us, but it's the same view, different perspective.
Well, last time he lit up like that was when he first got on the ice back in July.
That's true. It'll be a lot of normal, I think. Not entirely normal, but it'll be normal. It's been a heck of a year.
Strasnitsky intends to have his friends over to watch the rest of the NHL playoffs. The flood situation is going from bad to worse northwest of Montreal. 5,000 people living on the shores of the Lake of Two Mountains were forced out of their homes after a dike broke as families were sitting down to supper yesterday evening. Police say they needed to move quickly using amphibious vehicles to save lives, with the water quickly submerging cars and reaching ground floor windows in some homes. Floodwaters have not peaked yet in Ottawa, where one of the main bridges to Gatineau, Quebec is closed for the day. Meanwhile, area residents continue to prepare.
Yes, no can. Personally, I think it's insane to be within a meter of the record flood level. This is the water level from 2 years ago, and it's supposed to come up by another 75 centimeters past where it is now, which is basically going to be pretty close to the level of the wall here. Summertime, the water levels are pretty well hitting record lows. Springtime, we're pretty well hitting record highs. I am not sure that this is going to work. I'm cleaning the house out. If I do get flooded, I'm not going to lose everything. I have some very, very good friends. Possession-wise, I'm not going to lose a blessed thing, but there's a very real possibility that if the house gets flooded, that's going to be it. The cost of this place for flood remediation is going to be more than the value of the house. So if that happens, my long-term plan is probably going to be to knock it flat and rebuild.
Water levels continue to drop on the St. John River in New Brunswick, but they're still above flood stage from Fredericton to St. John. Emergency Measures Organization spokesman Jeffrey Downey says there's a long way to go before the response can become a recovery effort. 84 roads are closed across the province. Water is now off the Trans-Canada Highway between Aramaquto and River Glade, but debris has to be removed before it can reopen. A new Leger poll shows 65% of respondents saying they are very or somewhat dissatisfied with the Trudeau government. With 6 months to go before Election Day, only 27% of respondents say they plan to vote Liberal, compared to 40% who say they would vote Conservative. However, the poll also seemed to have some ambiguous results, with only 25% believing Canada would be better off with a Conservative government. 30% say the country is better off in Liberal hands, while 45% are unsure. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau greeted Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in Ottawa this morning. The two leaders are celebrating last year's successful launch of the rebooted Trans-Pacific Partnership and talking about the G20 summit that Abe will host in June. International Trade Minister Jim Carr says strong Japanese-Canadian ties have flourished even more since the new 11-country TPP deal was signed. The Pacific Rim Trade Alliance was rescued after President Donald Trump withdrew the U.S. from it in January 2017. A 19-year-old man may be charged with a hate crime as well as homicide after an attack yesterday at a California synagogue. John T. Ernest surrendered to police after the shooter killed 60-year-old Lori Kane and injured the rabbi, an 8-year-old girl, and a 34-year-old man. A person identifying themselves as John Ernest made anti-Jewish posts online about an hour before the attack, while praising the suspect in last month's New Zealand mosque attacks. Authorities said an off-duty Border Patrol agent fired at the shooter as he was fleeing the scene, but didn't hit the suspect. It is unclear why the suspect fled, but it is possible his gun may have malfunctioned. The suspect actually called 911 later to turn himself in. Another mass shooting in Tennessee has left 5 people dead. Police arrested 25-year-old Michael Cummins, who was reportedly carrying multiple weapons when he emerged from a wooded area and was then shot by police. He's being treated for what are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Police have not yet released details about the victims, who were found in 2 homes in Sumner County, northeast of Nashville. Catholic churches across Sri Lanka were closed to worshippers today out of fears of more militant attacks. So the island's Catholics celebrated Mass in their homes via a televised broadcast. The extraordinary measure came after local officials and the U.S. Embassy in Colombo warned that more militants remained on the loose with explosives. Recapping one of our top stories this hour, Montreal and Ottawa continue to battle rising floodwaters as a dike break forced the evacuation of 2,600 homes last night. And a look at weekend weather. Thankfully, we are done with blizzard conditions, but we may see a bit of precipitation yet. A few clouds overnight with a chilly low of -10. Tomorrow, a mix of sun and cloud with a 60% chance of showers in the afternoon and a high of +5. Abortion has been legal in our country for many years now with no gestational limits. Hal Roberts spoke with pro-life leader Peter Heck, who believes women need to be fully informed by medical staff before going through with an abortion. That interview is next, but first, here's a look at what's happening in and around your community.
Here's your Bridge City News community calendar. The annual Pottery and Glass Art Spring Show and Sale is being held from May 2nd to the 4th at the Westminster Community Hall in Lethbridge. Discover unique gifts and home decor made by local artists such as jewelry, stained glass windows, dish sets, mugs, and so much more. Admission is free. For more information, visit the Old Man River Potters Guild Facebook page. Come for a fun time and help support a worthy cause. The Kidney Foundation Southern Alberta branch is hosting a 3-kilometer and 6-kilometer walk or run on Saturday, May 11th at Henderson Lake Park. Register individually or as a team by calling 1-866-956-2724 or go online to kidneywalk.ca. And that's your Bridge City News community calendar.